Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvaradhari, Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvaradhari, Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jayo Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Radhe Radhe Jai Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Radhe Radhe. Jayo Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram, Jayo Vrindavan Dham. Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram, Jayo Vrindavan Dham. Jayo Gauranitai 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 Sri Sri Gauranitai Jai Gauranitai 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 Sri Sri Gauranitai. Jayo Prabhupada 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 Srila Prabhupada 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 Srila Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. जय श्री श्री गौर निताई की जय. जय श्री राम प्रभुपाद की जय. निताई गौर सीतानाथ प्रेमानंदे. हरि हरि बोल. Hare Krishna. So today we're reading from chapter 13, text 35. 35? Yes, 35. So that's indeed the last verse, the last sloka of this chapter. And the chapter is entitled Nature, the Enjoyer, and Consciousness. So before reading from the Bhagavad-Gita, we bring our obeisances to the Bhagavad-Gita. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. kṣetra-kṣetrajñayor evam antaram jñāna-cakṣuṣā bhūta-prakṛti-mokṣaṁ ca ye vidur yānti te param. kṣetra-kṣetrajñayor evam antaram jñāna-cakṣuṣā bhūta-prakṛti-mokṣaṁ ca ye vidur yānti te param kṣetra-kṣetrajñayor evam antaraṁ jñāna-cakṣuṣā bhūta-prakṛti-mokṣaṁ ca ye vidur yānti te param kṣetra-kṣetrajñayor evam antaraṁ jñāna-cakṣuṣā bhūta-prakṛti-mokṣaṁ ca ye vidur yānti te param kṣetra-kṣetrajñayor evam antaraṁ jñāna-cakṣuṣā bhūta-prakṛti-mokṣaṁ ca ye vidur yānti te param kṣetra-kṣetrajñayor evam antaram jñāna-cakṣuṣā bhūta-prakṛti-mokṣaṁ ca ye vidur yānti te param. So, word for word by Srila Prabhupada. Kshetra of the body. Kṣetra-jñayoḥ of the proprietor of the body. Evam, thus. Antaram, the difference. Jñāna-cakṣuṣā, by the vision of knowledge. Bhūta, of the living entity. Prakriti, from material nature. Mokṣam, the liberation. Cha, also. Ye, those who. Viduḥ, know. Yānti, approach. Te, they. Param, the supreme. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Those who see with eyes of knowledge the difference between the body and the knower of the body, and can also understand the process of liberation from bondage in material nature, attain to the supreme goal. Those who see with eyes of knowledge the difference between the body and the knower of the body, and can also understand the process of liberation from bondage in material nature, attain to the supreme goal. The purport by Srila Prabhupada. The purport of this 13th chapter is that one should know the distinction between the body, the owner of the body, and the Supersoul. One should recognize the process of liberation as described in verses 8 through 12. Then one can go on to the supreme destination. A faithful person should at first have some good association to hear of God and thus gradually become enlightened. If one accepts a spiritual master, one can learn to distinguish between matter and spirit, and that becomes the stepping stone for further spiritual realization. A spiritual master, by various instructions, teaches his students to get free from the material concept of life. For instance, in the Bhagavad-Gita, we find Krishna instructing Arjuna to free him from materialistic considerations. One can understand that his body is matter. It can be analyzed with its 24 elements. The body is the gross manifestation, and the subtle body, the subtle manifestation, is the mind and physiological effects, psychological effects. And the symptoms of life are the interaction of these features. But over and above this, there is the soul, and there is also the Supersoul. The soul and the Supersoul are two. This material world is working by the conjunction of the soul and the 24 material elements. One who can see the constitution of the whole material manifestation as the combination of the soul and material elements, and can also see the situation of the Supreme Soul, becomes eligible for transfer to the spiritual world. These things are meant for contemplation and for realization, and one should have a complete understanding of this chapter with the help of the spiritual master. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to the 13th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad-Gita in the matter of nature, the enjoyer, and consciousness. kṣetra-kṣetrajñayor evam antaraṁ jñāna-cakṣuṣā bhūta-prakṛti-mokṣaṁ च ye vidur yānti te param. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपगदामयं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिकाकांत राधाकांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नमः ओं विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनीति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। नमः ओं विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिचारु स्वामिनीति नामिने। स्नेहचेतचुप्रणेतवाग्विनां प्रभुपादपरायणो भक्तिचारुपदम्। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं तत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम्। Hare Krishna. So today this shloka is the nth shloka of this chapter, meaning the conclusion of this chapter, and the title already speaks for itself: nature, the enjoyer, and consciousness. And actually, it's an extension of Prabhu's class, maybe, because the things Prabhu mentioned are actually in line with the purport which is given here. So today we're going to dive deeper into the meaning of this shloka. What is nature, what is the enjoyer, and what is consciousness. And as it is stated in the purport, that there is a difference between the body, the soul, and the supersoul. So first, as Krishna said in this shloka, that one who has the complete understanding of what these aspects are and the difference between the body and soul, this knowledge becomes the first stepping stone for progressing in spiritual life and become liberated from this material bondage and attain the supreme goal. So, first of all, we have to understand what is the difference between the body and the soul and the super soul. So, the body, as we can see, this body, as is also stated in the purport, that this body is of gross material substance, and there is another body that's called the subtle body, which we knows consists of the mind, intelligence, and the ego. In this case, we are in this body, and through this material contamination, we think we are this body, we accepted this body. So Prabhupada explains how nicely how it is that we are so much indulged in thinking that we are this body. For example, when someone puts a knife in your hand, you will feel some pain, and the question arises: who is actually feeling that pain? Is it the soul? Is it the body? Is it something with the mind? So Prabhupada gives a clear explanation of exactly how it's also described in the purport, that um, by the combination of all the 24 elements consisting in this body, actually we can derive from the five main elements: water, earth, fire, ether, um, and and water, air, ether, fuel, and air. So I just did it in Dutch to remind myself in English. So these are the five, and there are three: man, buddhi, anka, mind, intelligence, and false ego, and ego. So the ego, the actual ego, is the definition of the soul, who the person in the body. And Prabhupada gives a real nice analogy how the body, how the soul is uh, living in that body, and by due to material contamination, by um, the working of these elements in combination with this material atmosphere, he becomes he accepts that he is this body. For example, Prabhupada gives the example that if there is fire, and you put a steel bar into that fire, the steel bar takes the characteristics of the fire. So the steel also becomes fire. But actually, originally, it's a bar of steel. It's not fire itself. Similarly, when the soul comes into this material world and accepts a body, he becomes, by the modes of material nature, which is also the next chapter, by the modes of material nature and accepting this body, he thinks that he is the body. So that's the first misconception of this whole entire creation, namely that we think that we are this body. So actually, we are not. We are a spirit soul, as Prabhupada explains also in chapter 2, 2.13. Dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaranam jara. The soul is actually constantly moving from body to body. Even in this life, we are changing body every second. So actually, we are in this life, in this body, we are already changing body. So 1 second ago, this body is changed already, because every time cells are being renewed, and this body 1 second ago is not the same as now. Everyone is clear for anyone to understand that due to time, the time factor, this body is getting the inevitable things of this life, namely birth, old age, disease, and death. So the body transmigrates from one to another body, and actually from birth, baby body, towards old age, it's constantly moving from body to body. The child body is gone, and now it becomes a teenager, and when the teenager is gone, it becomes an adult, and after adult, he becomes an elderly person. So this understanding helps us to get to the first step to spiritual understanding and spiritual progress, to go to the final destination, to the supreme goal. And what is that supreme goal? That supreme goal is actually where we are sitting now, in the spiritual world. The spiritual world is actually our common goal of every devotee, to attain the spiritual, to go back home, back to Godhead. And as it is said in the purport, being faithful and how to become faithful, and free ourselves from this material concept of life. As Prabhu also mentioned, Krishna and Arjun were on the battlefield, and Arjun was lacking faith. So he asked Krishna, "Show me your universal form, so I can have some proof that you're the supreme personality of Godhead." Because due to due to the Leela of Krishna, the Maya, um, Arjun forgot actually his original state of consciousness, and he surrenders onto Krishna to become his disciple and receive instructions to become free from material concept of life. And being faithful, how to become faithful, we have many examples in history, like Gajendra, who had faith, and eventually Krishna came to rescue him. Same as Draupadi, who actually she first put her faith into her own strength, and when she came to the conclusion that it was useless to use her own strength, because Dushashan was a very powerful warrior. He was um, pulling her ropes, and eventually, when she saw she's helpless, then she surrendered and had faith. She had faith in Govinda, in Krishna, and then she surrendered to Krishna, and which also shows us that actually her faith was not there yet. Her faith was first in her own strength of the body. So, how to become faithful is, as Prabhupada mentioned, is to be in the association of devotees. A faithful person, as it is stated in the purport, I'm reading the line, the sentence. A faithful person should at first, it's mentioned very clearly with the emphasis on first, at first have some good association to hear of God, and thus gradually, not instantly, gradually become enlightened. So, what is mentioned here? Mentioned here is the A from ABCD of Krishna consciousness. Association of devotees. If you associate with a devotee, you will become a devotee. If you associate with a thief, someday you will steal something. If you associate with someone who is intoxicated or consumes all kinds of intoxication, one moment will come there that you will be influenced to do also like that. So good association means associate with those who can uh, who can share Krishna Katha with you, or uh, give you some uh, give you some tips, tricks, and instructions to carry you along on the spiritual path, to go back to home, back to Godhead, and become faithful. So I have a nice story, a nice happening which really occurred in the past, and I'll keep it in general. How faith can rescue us, and faith especially in the guru, in the spiritual master. So there was a thief, and that his life only consisted of stealing, robbing, even murder. And one time he stole some things, and the villagers, they found out, and this thief, he fled away, and he had nowhere to go. There was only one place where he could sit in disguise and hide from all the villagers. So, what was that place? That place was a sadhu sangha, where devotees were sharing Krishna Katha, where Krishna Katha, where the glories and the greatness of Krishna and his devotees were being discussed. So this thief, he thought the best place to hide is in that gathering, because the people won't be seeking for a thief in such a holy setting of devotees who are discussing Krishna Katha. So he sat there, and he heard about Krishna Katha, and he heard about the spiritual master. So he asked this the preacher, um, how do I, because my life only consists of stealing and robbing, I won't be doing any pious activity. So he said, how do I get out of this situation? So the preacher, the devotee, told this thief that you get a spiritual master, and from that moment you're initiated. So you consider yourself dead and be reborn. So this thief took this instruction very seriously, and actually he stopped all his stealing, and he became a devotee only by hearing and associating with those devotees. So after some time, he was in the village, and the villagers recognized him, that was the thief who stole. So they arrested him. They arrested this thief, and they brought him to the king for justice, for penalty, for being punished. And the king asked, "Do you acknowledge your crime?" So this thief, he said, "No, king, I haven't stolen anything in this life." And the villagers said, "We have seen you that you have stolen these things. We are witness of your stealing those things." So the king says, "These are all witnesses. How do you plead? How are you defending yourself? You have the opportunity to defend yourself." So this thief answered, "Yes, in my previous life I have stolen, and now I am in this life I didn't steal anything." So the king asked, "How come you're here, and how do you remember your previous life, that you have stolen in your previous life?" So the thief explained to the king that due to my initiation, I actually left my previous life, and now I am reborn. So the king was very pleased with his answer, and he let him go. So this is the essence of how to associate with devotees, become a devotee, and actually you die from all material conception and become spiritual. And actually, when such a person takes to the spiritual path, to Krishna consciousness, he becomes free from all these material designations. So that is an example of how a spiritual master can save us from the material concept. And there is another analogy about how we are entrapped in this material nature and how to get out of it, and what is the meaning of gradually and not directly, because we are so acquainted with our atmosphere that we need a lot of training and realization that we do not belong here. So, for example, there was a king with a son. He went to the forest to hunt with his soldiers, and so his son was insisting, it was a little kid, a little boy, he was insisting to go along with his father to hunt with the soldiers. And it was a very dangerous thing that time for children to go into the forest along with soldiers with weapons to hunt and to practice warfare. But still, the king gave permission to his son, "You can come along." So the child, he came along, and what was it? Um, on a specific time, this child became separated due to a storm. This child became separated from the army and the king. So the child was lost in the forest, and the king was searching with his soldiers. They couldn't find the child. At the same time, a bandit, like they call it in Hindi, Daku, a bandit of the forest, he saw a beautiful child. It was the king's his son, and didn't have any legacy. He didn't have any children, so he thought this would be a very good for me to have as my son. Let me adopt him. So the bandit, the robber, he adopted the child and brought it home to his village where he was living in the forest, and um, he adopted the child and he raised the child as if its own. So there was a devotee a Muni, who also traveled in the woods. He was wandering in the woods, and he came to the woods, and he saw that the bandit had a child, and immediately he knew that this child was the king's child and not the bandit's child. So he asked the bandit also that, where did you get this child? And because bandits had great respect for Brahmanas, he told him the truth, that I found this child in the forest. He was abandoned, so I adopted him to raise it as my own. And the Muni said, okay, um, that's fine. You raise him, and the child, when he grew up, he could already see that his environment, his so-called family, were of all other mentality than himself. For example, he was against all the murdering, all the robbery, all the robbing, and he saw, but because he's in that environment, he became used to it, that it's my family and this is my duty. I also should follow in the footsteps of my father by robbing people, killing people, um, and gathering wealth for my villagers in the forest. So this boy, he became a teenager, and after some time, the Muni came to that boy, and he said, "Actually, you're a king's son. You're not from this family. You're not from this robber family. You are actually a king's son, and by separation during some hunt session, you got separated from your father." So this boy said, "What nonsense are you talking about? This is my father, and this is my uncle, these are my nephews, these are my brothers, this is my family." So the Muni said to him, "Just think about it. Think about how you are, what your feelings are, and how all these people are thinking, and what they're doing in daily life." So the boy thought about it, and he became doubtful that, do I really belong here? Is this really my family? But he was used to it because he was raised in that environment, in that setting, with those people. So the Muni, he went back to the king, and he told the king, "I think I have found your son. He's somewhere in the forest." And the king was already doubtful. He said, "I couldn't find my son. I don't know if I will ever find him back." And he was doubting. So the Muni, after some time again, he went to the boy in the forest, and he said, "Did you think about it?" The boy answered, "Yes, I have thought about it, and I think you're right. I think I don't belong here." That's the first step. He thought he didn't belong there. And he also got the information of that Muni that he was actually the son of a king. So that knowledge already entered into him. So he only got the knowledge. That's the first step. He only got the knowledge that he actually is the son of the king. But due to his environment, because of the influence, he's considering, I'm not, this is my family, and someone told me information that I'm not from here. Then the Muni went back to the king, and he said, um, do you believe me that I have found your son? He said, it should be possible. I believe you. But still, he was not longing for seeing his son back. He said, please bring him back. That was the king's his answer to the Muni. The Muni said, you have some patience. Um, Next time when I'll come, I'll ask you the same question if you want your son back. So he also went to the son, back to the son. And when he went back to the son, he asked, and what is your realization now? And the son answered, yes, I am convinced now. I don't belong here. Because my vision, my feelings are not the same as these criminal people. They're only robbing. It hurts my heart. So he says, please take me back to my father, to my real father, the king. So the Muni told him, you have some patience. You stay here for a little while more. I'll come back and ask you the same question. So he went back to the king. And when he went back to the king, he asked the same question, do you want your son back? Then the king said, yes, I want my son back. I know now you have found him. You convinced me that you found my son. So the Muni still answered the same answer to his question. You still have some patience. I'll come back in a while, after some time, and ask you the same question. And he went back to the boy in the forest. And he said to the boy, and now do you want to go to your father, your real father? He said, yes, please take me. Take me to my real father. I don't belong here. So the Muni said, okay, still you have to wait. Have patience. I'll come back and ask you the same question. He also went back to the king, and he asked the king, you want your son back? Yes, please bring my son back. I really long to see him now. Still, he answered the same. He gave the same answer to the king, that you have some patience. I'll come back after some time, and then I'll ask you the same question. So now this Muni, he went back to the boy in the forest, and he asked the same question. Are you ready to go to your father? And now the boy answered the answer the Muni was striving for and expecting, that now is the moment for you to come with me to go to your father. The boy said, I can't stand this anymore. You have to take me back to my father, otherwise I'll end this body. I'll end my life. And then the Muni said, now you are fit to go with me back to your father. Now you are fit. First you had the knowledge. Now you realize the knowledge that you're not belonging here, and you're willing to give up your life to go back to your father. And he went to the king and asked the same question. And the same answer the king gave to the Muni. If you don't bring back my son, I'll give up my life. So then the Muni said, and now it's time for you that your son comes back. So if you analyze this story, it's actually exactly what is written here. Gradually, you have to take the knowledge, and after realizing the knowledge and thus applying it in life, then you will be fit to go back home, back to Godhead. So this is a nice analogy of how you can bring spirituality in your life, associate with devotees, and gradually become elevated. As it is mentioned, first, this stepstone to know that I'm not this body. What is the goal of life? Why is everyone struggling hard for existence? Eating, sleeping, having a roof above your head, or eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Animals also do that. But what is our privilege? Our privilege as human beings is we can have the science of God. As Prabhupada says, the science of God. is real science. And what is this science of God? This science of God is how to get out of this material bondage of birth, old age, disease, and death. And what is the best method? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This way you can have the complete understanding, and actually Krishna will send a spiritual master to help you and guide you into on going back home, back to Godhead. So as we mentioned, having faith, having the association of devotee, accepting a spiritual master, these are the ingredients for making progress on the spiritual path, on the spiritual platform, to go back home, back to Godhead, and become free from all this material illusion. As Prabhupada says, everyone is struggling for life under the blazing fire of material existence. And Prabhupada says, when does this stop? This stops immediately when you chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. It's very scientific. It's not something of speculation or concoction of the mind. It's real science. And what is said here, it's not blind faith. It's having the complete and perfect understanding of what is the body is, what is the super soul, what is the soul, what is this material energy, and what is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And most important, about the 7 goals of our Prabhupada's ISKCON. We have 7 goals, right? 7 goals. One of those most important goals is having the clear understanding of what is spiritual and what is matter. Because intelligence you can touch. You can touch intelligence. Everyone has an intelligence here, but you cannot see the intelligence. But it's there. Even then, it's material. See? So material things doesn't mean you have to touch it, that something touchable is material. No, there are material things that cannot be touched. Even material things you cannot see. A bacteria, you need a microscope to have a perception that even a bacteria exists. You see? So Krishna is most highest of all energies. So if the sun doesn't shine, you cannot see, as Prabhupada explains, you cannot see your own hands in front of you. So how strong is our eyesight? So how to see Krishna, the most highest energy? By associating with as Prabhu mentioned, Sravana Kirtana Smarana Bandhana Pada Sevanam Archanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atma Nivedanam. Take one in your life. As Prabhupada mentioned, your life becomes successful. Your life becomes perfect. And this complete understanding, in chapter 10, Shloka 10, Krishna says, Tesam satata yuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam yena mam upayanti te. If you do, this is bhajan with priti, doing bhajan with priti. What is bhajan? Bhajan is actually something internal, and we are doing sadhana, we're doing bhajana kriya. Kriya means activity. We're doing activities for devotional service. And this devotional service will change internally. That is the actual becoming free from material concept of life is something that is going to change in the heart. Something that's going to change in the heart. There are all devotees here. When a person comes, as Prabhupada somewhere says, everything will change. There is no hairstyle anymore. There is no fancy clothes anymore. We all wear uniforms, like uniforms. See? And our appearance is to please Krishna. Is to please Krishna. To make ourselves beautiful for Krishna, not for the other sex. So that is how, and then if you do this bhajan, this devotional service with love, with affection, with enthusiasm. If you don't have it, just artificially put it onto yourself. Someday it will happen. The real enthusiasm, the real taste, and the real determination, as Dhruv Maharaj, it will come. And faith of Prahlad Maharaj will also come together. And then when we do this bhajan, Krishna gives us the intelligence to have the complete and perfect understanding, to go back home, back to Godhead. And as it is said here, Krishna says that those who see with eyes of knowledge the difference between the body and the knower of body, and can also understand the process of liberation from bondage and material, attain the supreme goal. This is the first knowledge we have to have, because that reminds us that we are not this body, and we know that we are not this body. And after knowing, as I gave the example of the story, if you know we are not this body, you can apply that knowledge that you're not this body, and eventually, like a fighter who is in a professional sports, when he goes into the cage or ring or whatever, he goes, the only thing he sees is his opponent, and he wants to defeat his opponent. And at that time, during how long the fight will have has a duration, during that time, this person who focuses on defeating his opponent does not know any pain. Any pain. He doesn't feel anything. His only focus is defeating his opponent. When he gets out of the fight, then it starts. The bruising, blue marks. He feels, oh, I have been hit. I have had some kicks and punches. Then he feels. But in the ring, he didn't feel anything. So this is how a devotee becomes. When the devotee is on that level, he forgets everything about all the impact of this body. He doesn't feel anything anymore. As Prabhu says, most of us, of the senior devotees, like all the Prabhupada disciples, many of them, when they leave the body, and persons who are sitting next to the bed are asking the sannyasi, do you have some pain? Are you in some kind of misery now? And as my Guru Maharaj also, when he was going into samadhi, he said, I am in full bliss. See, because he knows and realized that he is not this body. That is the goal of how to know that you are not this body, and the impact of this body will not affect us, and we can do our devotional service. And at the time of that, guarantee, Krishna is not so strict or some kind of master with a whip or something. You chant Hare Krishna now, Krishna never forgets that you chanted his name. Yes? Even when you get an accident, you won't have the opportunity or the moment to think about Krishna. Oh, Krishna, now I'm leaving this body. And if you're not able to think of Krishna at the time of death, one day in your life you have chanted his name, Krishna will come and get you. And if Krishna doesn't come to get you, Prabhupada will come and get you. That is the power of our Srila Prabhupada. We are all saved by the power of Srila Prabhupada. He is a very intimate associate of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And anyone who accepts his book, his instructions, becomes eligible to go back to home, back to Godhead, and never come back to this material world again, to struggle for existence, to have so many miseries. As it is said in 8:15 in the Bhagavad-Gita, dukhalyam asaswatam. This whole material manifestation is full of misery and temporary. And the soul is not temporary. The soul is actually full of bliss and knowledge. The only thing is we have forgotten it. There is always we don't have to make a connection with Krishna, because that connection was always there. It did never stopped. It will never end. The connection with Krishna, the relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead is eternal, and doesn't have any beginning, and nor it has any end. It was already there. The only thing this shloka reminds us of is to remember that we have that relationship with Krishna. And then, by the association of devotees, talking about Krishna and Radharani, talking about the glories and the greatness of his devotees, like Prabhu mentioned his Guru Maharaj. There are great devotees. If you study or hear from the life of a devotee who has already got Krishna, you will get Krishna. See, if that's the power of Krishna Katha or Bhakta Katha, the glories of the devotee helps us in getting the power of that devotee and progress in spiritual life and attain real love of Godhead. Real love of Godhead, because there is no love in this material. Love is some kind of business here, as Prabhupada explains. I love you because there is a motivation behind it. It's not without motivation. There is a reason behind it. Real love is actually only one: the relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his entourage, his paraphernalia. Because he doesn't, Krishna is none different from all his paraphernalia. So that is what is here meant in the translation about the supreme goal, param. As it is said, vidur yānti te param. The highest goal. What is this highest goal? This highest goal is actually to hold on tight to Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. This is not an ordinary mantra. So many names of Krishna are there. You have Hari. They say Harinam. It's Hari, his name. Harinam. You have Narayan. You have Radhanam. You have so many names. But that's why it's science. This combination of these syllables are on a transcendental platform. Actually, it is not a word. It's not a word, as we say in Hindi, shabda. It's not shabda avali. This is mantra, mind, and tra, freeing. To free the mind, you see. So, Mahamantra, the supreme mantra, the supreme method of freeing the mind. So that is actually the sum and substance of this shloka, which actually gives us, as the previous shlokas also mentioned here, from 8 to 12, and the previous shlokas here before, they give us insight in what's to come. That's why the next chapter is the three modes of material nature, to give you more and clear understanding how we are being controlled by these three gunas, these three modes of material nature: tamagun, rajagun, and sattvagun. Ignorance, goodness, and passion. These three modes. And if we understand that we are actually under influence of these three modes and take up to devotional service, we rise above these three modes, and material energy cannot harm anything from us. And when we are focused, like Dhruv Maharaj, like Prahlad Maharaj, we are focused, nothing can come in the way. Any obstacle will be washed away. That's why we are singing Narsingha Pranam every day. Narsingha Dev removes everything to go back to home, back to Krishna's lotus feet, Radharani's lotus feet, and have the real, this is happiness. Real happiness is Krishna bhajan. There is no other happiness. Krishna mentioned to Arjun, you can search in this material world for so much happiness, you will never find it. There is no happiness. Only one happiness is there, and the real happiness, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, is the real happiness. I heard from devotees, from the Prabhupada's disciples, what is the power, and Prabhupada shows us. Actually, where I come from, Prabhupada came to Amsterdam, in the Netherlands, in Holland. And as we know, Dutch people are very, let me leave that behind. It was not very well organized because it was all new to them. So Prabhupada came to the congregation in Amsterdam, and he saw things are very chaotic. People, someone cut up the fruits and put the bhoga there, all wrong, all things wrong. Prabhupada was looking a little bit annoyed, a little bit irritated that what are these devotees doing? Nothing is going according to plan. And as we know, Amsterdam is a city of everything from A to Z. The most demonic things are happening there. Everything, and in public, everything is happening in public. So Prabhupada came there, he saw the situation, and he says, what is this? What's going on? He was a little bit annoyed. And then one hippie, maybe for the people who don't know the word hippie was actually in the time of the Americans. Actually, American people are all Europeans who fled and didn't accept authority. So most of them are from criminal backgrounds. Most of American people, their ancestors were all people who don't accept authority from European countries. They fled and killed all the Indians, and they robbed everything, and they confiscated the land. So one hippie means the person is doing drugs and having an alternative life, it's with alternative clothes, long hair, like someone who is wandering down the streets. And this is the general idea of a hippie. So the hippie saw Prabhupada annoyed, and he told Prabhupada, because he heard from the other devotees, when some devotee gets upset, they tell the devotee, you just chant Hare Krishna and be happy. So this hippie told Prabhupada, you chant Hare Krishna and be happy, because he saw he was a little bit annoyed. See Prabhupada, he took his mala and started chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. See, Prabhupada took the instruction of a hippie, because it was the instruction he himself preaches to everyone. See, that is the greatness of our Srila Prabhupada. So I'll end here. Any question, remarks, additions? Please do. Yes, Prabhu, you have a question? Please do so. Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, you mentioned Prabhupada has given some 7 goals for ISKCON.
Yes.
What are they?
First, to have a clear understanding about spirit and matter, to spread Krishna consciousness and actually love and peace all over the world. Anyone knows by heart? You can Google on it. 7 purposes, ISKCON, 7 purposes. Immediately Guru Google will present it to you. Yes. Should I? You want to hear it now? I can. It's very, very quickly done. You don't need the book. So see, you can use this technology also in Krishna consciousness. And it's so smartly built, Google. The engineers are very smart. Yes, purposes. 7 purpose per. So I didn't have to type it. Google recognized it. So, I don't even have to click further. Show more. 1, to systematically propagate spiritual knowledge, to propagate Krishna consciousness, to unite members with Krishna, to teach congregational chanting, Sankirtan, to erect a holy place for Krishna, to establish places for devotees like this mandir, to teach a simpler natural life, meaning simple living, high thinking. Jai. See, these nice to have devotees. and to publish and distribute spiritual writings, book distribution. Yes. So Prabhupada said, if you spread my books, I am your guru. No, not we. Even if you read only my one chapter of my book, I am your guru. You become my disciple. These are the seven. And all these seven are elaborated on. The first one, to systematically propagate spiritual knowledge, to educate society on spiritual life and balanced values, leading the world unity and peace. Actually, this is the real peace formula, as Prabhupada mentioned. Also, our devotees, our God brothers in different places, they, in past I know, they even went to jails, to prison, to preach and distribute prasadam, to propagate Krishna consciousness, preaching, to spread the understanding of Krishna as revealed in the Bhagavad-Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, to unite members with Krishna, to bring members together and help them realize their nature as part and parcel of Godhead. The shloka we did today is written in the second, in the third, to bring members together, as we are doing here, to teach congregational chanting, doing Harinam, or to encourage the public chanting of God's holy name as taught by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to erect a holy place for Krishna, to establish places for devotees and public to engage in activities dedicated to Krishna, to teach a simpler natural life, to bring members together, to learn and practice a simpler, more natural way of living. That's why we have our farm communities also, right? To publish and distribute spiritual writings, very important, to disseminate spiritual knowledge through books, magazines, and other media, to achieve the other purposes, the above mentioned purposes. These are the seven. Very nice question, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Another, one more, then we round it up. Prabhu, you have something to add? A nice smile. Jai. Prabhu, yes. Krishna Darshan, Prabhu. So Krishna Darshan, the name already says, Krishna ke darshan ho gaya. Nice. Prabhu, you want to add something? Please do. You also, thank you. Thank you all very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Jai Jai Sri Radhe Shyam. Nitai Gaur Sitanath Premanande. Hari Hari Bo.